A recent change has occurred at an active volcano that I honestly did not expect to mention again in a news piece for a minimum of multiple years, perhaps a decade or more. In other words, it is once again showing new signs of volcanic unrest. What I am referring to is an Italian volcano so famous that its name is not only the source of the word volcano, but it is also the source of a term for an eruption type, a Vulcanian eruption. What I am referring to is the volcano called Vulcano, which can be found in Italy's Aeolian Islands 57 kilometers west-northwest of the city of Messina, and which has not produced an eruption since 1890. For those of you who have been my audience for several years, this particular volcano should be familiar to you because it produced its strongest episode of unrest since it last erupted, with this unrest beginning in June of 2021. This unrest consisted of increased gas plume heights, increased fumarolic temperatures, ground deformation, an increased rate of low-magnitude earthquakes, and increased sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide emissions. The increased carbon dioxide emissions include increases in the concentrations of this gas in patches of soil by up to 20 times their prior levels. Afterwards, volcanic unrest across the board slowly decreased month over month until the unrest ended in mid-December of 2023, causing its alert level to be lowered back to green. Normally, when relatively long episodes of unrest like this occur at a volcano which has not erupted in at least several decades, the decreasing trend will continue onwards after the peak activity for multiple years, sometimes as much as half a decade. This is why it was completely unexpected when, at the beginning of August 2025, the expected continual downward trend made an abrupt U-turn, with soil carbon dioxide levels rapidly rising throughout the remainder of the month by more than 900%, reaching even values higher than at any point during the prior episode of unrest between 2021 and 2022. And this is not the only thing which changed. Vent temperatures also increased during the same time period, along with a rate of small magnitude earthquakes and a slight ground deformation. Also, while less noticeable, the temperature of hot thermal water in some spots has increased, albeit only beginning in mid rather than early August. In other words, in my opinion, it seems like a repeat of the onset of the 2021 unrest may now be occurring, although Volcano's alert level is still green. However, I do want to note that carbon dioxide levels in the soil have not across the board reached record levels during the last month. Only 3 of 4 locations showed simultaneous increases that remain high thereafter, with only one of these 3 reaching their highest level of the decade so far. In summary, there has been an increase in volcanic unrest at Volcano, but this unrest is still not nearly as strong as it was in 2021 and 2022. But to understand what might now be repeating, I will first explain what exactly caused the 2021 to 2022 unrest episode. That unrest was not caused by an intrusion of fresh magma, but rather the movement of a batch of magmatic fluids and gases from said magma chamber slightly shallower into the crust, entering the volcano's hydrothermal system. This pressurized the hydrothermal system, creating all of the geophysical changes which were observed. So, if the same thing is repeating, another batch of magmatic gases but not magma may have once again caused increased pressure to occur in Volcano's underlying hydrothermal system. With all of this being said, sometimes volcanoes really do just have random and brief changes that do not have a deeper explanation. While less likely in my opinion, I wouldn't be doing my job if I did not at least consider this possibility to be occurring at Volcano. Stay tuned for more updates, as I will make another video eventually on Volcano if its unrest continues to increase. As a final note, I would like to thank my patron Richard Lennon for increasing their membership tier to this channel.